Greetings and salutations, everybody. Welcome to Open Mic here on my YouTube channel. I'm, of course, your host, John Campea. And you know, every day on the John Campea Show in the morning, that's our main show, we save a little bit of time for some live questions. But here on Open Mic, that's all we do, just all live questions all the time. And I'm super glad you guys are here today. I got to tell you, look, I don't like to talk about trivial things too much. Oh, who am I kidding? I talk about trivial things all the time. It is 114 degrees in the San Fernando Valley right now. 114 degrees. For those of you who are my Canadian friends, that is almost 45 degrees Celsius today. And I know some of you are looking at your computer screen and going, you're lying. Nope. Look it up. It is like 100. And like when I was just downstairs, I was pouring some soda. It had just dropped down to 113. Woo! So all the way down to a chilly 113 degrees today. So listen, I just turned off the AC to start the show today. I don't know how long I'm going to be able to keep the AC off. I like to keep the AC off during the show normally because it's a little loud, but I may have to turn it on at some point. Because I'm telling you what, I had to run out to Best Buy earlier because my keyboard died, so I needed to run out and grab a new keyboard. And I opened the front door, and you know that feeling when you open an oven to check on whatever it is you have in the oven, that wave of heat comes out? I swear it was like that. When I opened the front door of the house, it was like, whoosh, and I'm like, my delicate Canadian sensibilities. I like the cold, okay, guys? I like the cold. It's bloody hot today. So anyway, there's a little bit of insight for you. Okay, let's get things going here. We got a whole bunch of questions that have already come in. It's the weekend now. So look, I know the last couple days I said we're going to keep today's show short, and I still go 45 minutes to an hour. Today, we're going to try to keep the show a little bit short if we can, but who knows, maybe we'll go a full hour anyway. All right, we get things started today. And the first live question today comes to us from Marv Diesel, who writes, stumbled on Man of Steel trailer. I love the Man of Steel trailer. Let's see. Stumbled on the Man of Steel trailer for the first time in 5 years. One of the best with the Zimmer score bringing back the emotion of the first time I saw the movie. I believe it's the best scored comic book movie ever. Thoughts? I don't think you're far off. Look, a lot of people say, and I've talked to a number of friends of mine, that although, you know, the original Superman movie is not a lot of people's all-time favorite movie, but for an awful lot of people I know, to them that score, the John Williams score to the original Superman, may be a lot of people's all-time favorite. From me, it's the Imperial March, but Superman ranks right up there. It's finally, I think, the top 7 of my all-time favorite scores are all John Williams. I mean, whether you're talking Indiana Jones, Jurassic Park, Superman, you're talking Close Encounters of the Third Kind, you're talking Star Wars, you're talking Harry Potter, you're talking on and on and on and on and on. Anyway. But I'm telling you what, that Zimmer score in Man of Steel is breathtaking. It's breathtaking. I still, every once in a while, at least once a month, I'll sit here and turn on I'm going to see if I can find it right now. Hold on a second. See if I can find it right now. At least once a month, I'll find the song, right, to Man of Steel, and I will just start playing it. I'll just start playing it. Just play it so I can listen to it while I'm working. You know I'm talking about that. Bum, 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 bum. Like, I get chills thinking about it. It's a boom, bum, 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 bum. It's just, it's amazing. And it is one of the reasons, to me, Man of Steel is a top 10 comic book film of all time. I have screamed that from the first day I saw it, and I've screamed ever since. It was simply one of the best comic book movies ever made. It is certainly the most underrated comic book movie ever made. That and the original Thor, directed by the great Kenneth Branagh. Those two films, to me, are the most tragically underrated comic book films ever made because they are both brilliant to me. Man of Steel is so freaking good. To me, it is still by far the best DCU movie that the DCU's ever put out. It's majestic, it's regal, it's powerful, it's emotional. It gives us a truly perfect look at Kal-El in 2000, today 18, but at the time 2014, 2015, whatever year it came out. It's brilliant, and the score is definitely there. Now, I still don't know that I would call it the greatest comic book movie score ever. It's hard to beat how well, speaking of Zimmer, it's hard to beat for comic book movies The Dark Knight. The Dark Knight is scored so well. I mean, there's certainly discussions there to be had, but I mean, brilliant scores all the way around. But yeah, Man of Steel, brilliant film, and the score is certainly one of the things that makes it such. Anyway, great point. I'm glad you caught up on that trailer, man. All right, next question. Ben Kenobi writes, loved Ant-Man and Wasp, so entertaining and fun. You know, I think you're going to find most people are going to be coming out of Ant-Man. I have yet to talk to one person, either on Twitter, because normally, like on Twitter, and by the way, if you're not following me on Twitter, why don't you just follow me right there, at John Campea. I'll get a lot of people, even for like really good movies that come out, certainly all film is subjective, so I get tweets, hey, John, saw such and such, didn't really like it as much as most people. Totally fair. I have not heard, the movie's been out for almost 24 hours now. I have not had one person tweet to me to say they didn't like it. And that's unusual, because I get a lot of people tweeting me, like with every movie comes out, John, I really like this movie. John saw this movie, didn't work for me. All fair, but it's just interesting to note that I haven't gotten a tweet from anybody yet to tell me they haven't liked Ant-Man. Now, I personally don't like Ant-Man and the Wasp as much as the first Ant-Man, but that's not saying much because you guys know how much I adored the first Ant-Man. I really like this Ant-Man movie. It's a lot of fun, very entertaining, a true self-contained standalone movie, which you don't get a lot of in the MCU, and just completely compelling. Loved it. It was a joyride. I loved it. Had a great time with it. Again, I still prefer the first Ant-Man, but that's not taking anything away from this Ant-Man. I had a good time. I'm glad you liked it, Ben. All right, next question comes to us from Curtis Lopez, who writes, where were you when George Lucas announced he was making prequels? I still remember. This was back in the day. Do you guys remember Rodney Brazeau? He's worked with me on the movie blog. He's done some stuff with me here on my YouTube channel before. He was on Star Wars Talk Tuesday with me a few times. He ran the movie blog after I sold it. Stuff like that. Anyway, Rodney and I and a few other friends, we were all roommates. Rodney had this house, and a few of us buddies just all said, hey, let's all move in. It was a pretty big house, so we all just moved in. So we were all these buddies living together. And Rodney had this computer with, at the time, I still remember this, had 4 gigs of RAM. At the time, that was crazy. And I still remember our mutual friend, Dave Lapsley was his name, who also used to write with me on the not on the movie blog. Or actually, he did a little writing on the movie blog, but he also wrote for me way back when we had this little website called moviereviews.net. Was this website that we had ages and ages and ages ago. Anyway, so I remember me, Rodney, and our buddy Dave Lapsley. Rodney had decided to put 2 more gigs of RAM in his computer to bring it up to 4 gigs of RAM, which was at the time was like, what? That's crazy. And I'll never forget the line from my buddy Dave Lapsley, which today is hilarious. But I remember somebody said to Rodney, as we're getting ready to go out to the computer store to buy 2 more gigs of RAM for like $150 or whatever it was going to cost at the time to get 2 gigs of RAM. And somebody asked Rodney, what are you going to do with 4 gigs of RAM? And my buddy Dave Lapsley goes, brag? I mean, and that was the era. Like now we have 32 gigs of RAM on our computers and it's no big deal. But yeah, I remember that at the time. Anyway, what was the question? Oh yes, where was I when I heard that George Lucas was making prequels? I remember we had just gotten the internet. And I can't remember who his internet service provider was, but obviously it was the old phone-in one. You know, for those of you old enough to remember that. And I remember sitting in the computer room at that house and seeing the news that they were making more Star Wars movies. The term joygasm doesn't fully do it justice. And I remember screaming at the top of my lungs from the computer room, guys, get in here! And, you know, and sharing the news is like, oh my God, they're making more Star Wars movies. I still remember where I was. And I was in the computer room of our house What was the name of the street? The funny thing is, the street that we lived on, my sister now lives on that same street. She literally bought a house that's like 6 houses away from the house that me and Rodney and our buddies used to live in. And I'm trying to remember the name of the street, but I can't remember off the top of my head. But anyway, that's where I was when I heard that George Lucas was making more Star Wars movies, which turned out to be the prequels. So yeah, anyway, thanks for the trip down memory lane. Anyway, Mike McHale writes, saw Ant-Man and the Wasp last night, but was ruined by the drunk guy next to me accidentally spilling his beer on me after I told him to stop talking during the movie. That's horrible, man. That's terrible. I'm sorry to hear that. Like, you know what? I think we are, as movie fans, we're spoiled. Because I used to go to a lot of sporting events too, and people just act like dicks at sporting events. But I think we're ruined or spoiled a little bit. That things like that, Mike, are so rare, and thank God they're rare, but they do happen, and that's just horrible that you had to have that experience. Like, I don't know. I don't know why anybody would be like that. I hope the guy understands what a freaking loser he is. So that's terrible, especially during a fun, what's supposed to just be a fun, laugh out loud kind of movie like Ant-Man and the Wasp. That's terrible that you had that experience, dude. I hope you informed staff about it, and hopefully they'll not let that guy in again. But whatever. Sorry to hear about that, dude. That's a horrible experience. Let's see. Next up, Murray Reich writes, saw Ant-Man and the Wasp last night, had a blast. The characters were great, especially Michael Pena. Villain, meh. Had myself laughing throughout. Mid-credits scene was great. After credits was a huge waste. Overall, I left with a huge smile. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. And I agree. With Ant-Man and the Wasp, they seem to go back to the tried and true Marvel formula, which is they don't really care that much about their villains. Their villains are there to further the hero's story. Now, Marvel's been changing that philosophy a little bit lately and really been elevating their villains a little bit more, whether it's in the case of Michael Keaton's Vulture, whether it's in the case of Michael B. Jordan's Killmonger, whether it's in the case of Thanos. They've been doing that. But with Ant-Man and the Wasp, they kind of went back to a formula that works very well for them, which is don't spend much time on the villain. The villain is simply there to further along the hero's journey and to hold up the villain, or to hold up the hero. And in both cases of Ghost and Walton Goggins' character, neither of them, one of the things I said in my review is that the Ghost character isn't even a threat. Like, you never even feel like the Ghost character is even a threat. You just feel like Ghost is an annoyance, an inconvenience more than anything else. But the character is there to further along the hero's story. Because without Ghost, the hero's story becomes a lot more boring. And that's what they use them for, and the end result is a great movie. And I remember having this argument with somebody, well, if you don't have a good villain, then you don't have a good movie. It's like, you're wrong. You're absolutely wrong. Using a villain a certain way is just a tool in your tool belt. You don't have to use that tool one specific way. You can use it in different ways to achieve your end result. Your end result is the important thing. Your end result is a great, enjoyable movie. That's the end result you're going for. Whatever methodology you use, whichever way you decide to use the tools that are available to you is all mathematical. That's up to you. That's the art of it. What matters is you get to the end result of a great, enjoyable movie. Some movies, like Infinity War, use their villain, Thanos in that case, as a major, major piece, really elevate the villain, all that kind of stuff, and their end result is a great movie. Fantastic. Ant-Man and the Wasp has a different philosophy. The first Iron Man movie, a total waste of a villain, the Warmonger. It was just a total waste of a villain. But they used the villain in such a way to make sure the movie got to the place of being a great, enjoyable movie. Ant-Man and the Wasp does the same thing. And I like the Ghost character. Walton Goggins, unfortunately, is kind of wasted. Walton Goggins is one of the best character actors in the business right now. To me, a little bit wasted in Ant-Man and the Wasp. But still, yeah, certainly the villains are not a highlight of that movie. But they're not. But that's by design. They're not designed to be one of the highlights of the movie. They're simply there to further along the hero's story and to elevate the hero. And they do it. And the end result is a great, entertaining, enjoyable movie that I'm pretty much all the audiences are loving so far. Okay, let's move on. And you're right, the final end credit scene, kind of a waste. Rodney Hurd writes, love what you do, John. Thank you so much, Rodney. I appreciate that. In my honest opinion, with YouTube personalities, you are the best there is. Oh, thanks, man. The best there was and the best there ever will be. I cue the Bret Hart music. It's hard doing that sound because I got air coming out where my broken tooth is. That's more effective. Best there is, best there was, best there's ever going to be. The excellence of execution anyway. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. I certainly have a lot of fun doing what I'm doing what I do. And the fact that you guys come along and do it with me makes it extra enjoyable. So thank you for that, man. I really appreciate it. All right, Rodney follows that up with, who is the better G1 character, Megatron or Galvatron? I'm actually going to go Megatron. I think Megatron had a lot more character to him than Galvatron did. I really do. I just felt Megatron, there was such a definitive personality to him. Don't get me wrong, Galvatron had personality, but nowhere near as much as Megatron. And so to me, easy. And you know what? I remember I was still collecting Transformers toys shortly after the Transformers animated movie. But I gotta admit to you, the Transformers animated movie actually kind of turned me off collecting Transformers toys. Because after the first Transformers movie, I'm sitting there in a room full of these Transformers toys I've been collecting. It's like, you motherfuckers, you just killed all my guys. You just killed all the characters. Like, honestly, some people look back on that Transformers animated movie fondly. I don't. That Transformers animated movie was a big F you from Hasbro to all the fans. It's like, hey guys, oh, you've enjoyed collecting all these great Transformers we've given you over the years? You've enjoyed using the toys and enjoying all these characters and getting to know these characters? Guess what? Fuck you! We're killing all of them in 5 minutes of the movie and giving you all new toys that you gotta go out and buy. It was awful. Like, I didn't mind them killing Optimus Prime. That was dramatic. That had weight. And the fight between Prime and Megatron was one of my favorite movie scenes of all time. And ultimately, they end up killing each other. There's something poetic and beautiful and dramatic about that. I had no problem with them killing Optimus. It's killed me as a younger person. It killed me that they did it, but I had no problem with it. But they killed everybody. I think the only people they didn't kill was Bumblebee, and I think Jazz lived. I think it was Bumblebee and Jazz. And that was it. Like, everybody else died. And what really killed me was that all the other Autobots, they all died without even having any dialogue. Oh, look, there's Ironside. Ironside will save the day. Bleep, dead. All right. Oh, well, thank goodness. There's Sunstreaker. He's going to bleep, dead. Oh, okay, well, Prowl just, Prowl's dead. And I'm like, and they killed them all. In like the first 5 or 10 minutes, all dead. And then all of a sudden, all new characters. And it was a big middle finger from Hasbro. Now, I don't want to talk too negatively about Hasbro. They do contribute half of my household income because Ann works for Hasbro. But that was a big middle finger, man, from Hasbro. To the fans. Big middle finger. Now, all new leadership at Hasbro knows that's fine, but I mean, it was a big middle finger, man. And I remember sitting in my room looking at all my and I had a lot of them, believe me, looking at all my Transformers and going, those sons of bitches just killed all of you. They just killed all of you. I'm never going to see you in a show again. I'm never going to see you in the Transformers again. They killed you all. They killed you all. Brawn, you're dead. You're dead. Bye-bye. Wheeljack, bye. You're dead. I mean, it was devastating. It was absolutely devastating. Anyway, I got off on a rant there from a simple question about Megatron or Galvatron. I preferred that. The movie had nothing to do with it. I just thought Megatron had more personality, more character, so I preferred Megatron. Let's see. Murray Reich writes, MoviePass, more like Uber Pass. Now, yeah, in a way, like, for those of you who didn't watch the John Campea show earlier today, so MoviePass, they've started now, they've launched it, their surcharge pricing. So, like Uber, during a real busy rush hours, whatever, they'll have surge charging where a trip in Uber that would normally cost $7 will actually cost you $18 because, you know, there's big, heavy traffic right now, high demand on the cars, surge charging. Well, now, MoviePass has started charging you more if you want to go to a popular movie at a popular time. So, if you try to use your MoviePass to go see Ant-Man and the Wasp tonight, first of all, you're probably out of luck because it's going to be sold out, and with MoviePass, you don't get to buy your tickets online in advance. Anyway, but they can charge you anywhere between $2 to $6 extra for going to a popular movie at a popular time. Anywhere between $2 to $6, and it's totally discretionary. It's up to them how much extra they're going to charge you at that point. Theoretically speaking, if they charge you $6 for going to see a popular movie, which most of us want to see, at popular times, which is when most of us go to the movies, if you just go to see 2 movies this month, and they charge you $6 a pop, that's $12 on top of the $10. Guess what? If you just go to see 2 popular movies this month, you're now paying more for MoviePass than you are for AMC A-List. And you still don't get to buy your tickets in advance, book them online, or reserve your seats. And now you're paying more. And that's just if you go to see 2 movies with the surcharging this month. Which is crazy. It's now more expensive. Practically speaking, MoviePass is now more expensive than AMC A-List without all the benefits. Except the one major benefit that MoviePass still gives you. The major benefit MoviePass gives you is that you're not just limited to one theater chain. You can go to a Regal, and you can go to a Cinemark, and you can go to, well, you can't go to ArcLight, but you can go to an AMC, right? So there's still that. But if you live near an AMC, I have absolutely no idea why anybody who lives anywhere close to an AMC would have a MoviePass instead of an A-List at this point. I still don't know why anybody would have MoviePass instead of Sinemia, but I mean, A-List is clearly the best one. Okay, where'd we go here? Just had a bit of a jump. Okay, we had a significant jump. Here we go. Andrew Oldham writes, had fun with Ant-Man and the Wasp, however, Walton Goggins is now the worst MCU villain ever. He's like a cross between Justin Hammer and Meacham from Iron Fist. Oh my goodness. Disappointing step down from Thanos. Well, I mean, here's the thing. First of all, I agree with you generally that Walton Goggins' character was wasted. I completely agree with that. However, he's not really the villain of the film. He's not really the main antagonist of the film. The main antagonist of the film is Ghost. Ghost is the key main antagonist. So I wouldn't compare Walton Goggins to Thanos. If you're trying to keep it to like saying an Infinity War comparison, I would compare him more to Gamma, right? That's who I would compare him more to. The main antagonist of Infinity War is Thanos. Walton Goggins' character was not the main antagonist of Ant-Man and the Wasp. Ghost is. So I wouldn't make that comparison. But I do agree with you, Andrew, that the character was wasted. And I'm okay with Ghost because the Ghost character played her role and her part in furthering the hero's journey. So I liked the Ghost character. Even though it's a very little used character, it's not an important character because their role is to further the story of the heroes. But Walton Goggins' character I did not like. And what makes that extra disappointing is the fact that it's being played by Walton frickin' Goggins, who's such a good actor. So, so I was disappointed in Walton. But really, the character's not in the movie that much. And yeah, so I wouldn't make any comparisons to Thanos because, again, the Goggins character isn't the main antagonist of the film. Ghost is. That's just how I see it at any rate. All right. James Argenta writes, thoughts on Keri Russell maybe joining episode 9. Just saw the news of that a little while ago. Got to tell you guys, it's very exciting to me. The notion of that is very exciting to me because I think Keri Russell is a terrific talent. I fell in love with Keri Russell. Not on Felicity. I never really watched Felicity. But there's obviously a big key connection to J.J. Abrams, right? But where I fell in love with Keri Russell was this movie she did with, why am I forgetting the name of the... Why am I forgetting the name of the guy who played Mal on Serenity? Why am I forgetting his name? I never forget his name. Damn it. Now I got to look it up. I feel stupid. Nathan Fillion. Why did I brain freeze on Nathan Fillion? Anyway, there's this little film that Keri Russell did years ago with Nathan Fillion called Waitress. It's a beautiful little movie. It is an absolutely beautiful little movie that I just adored. Completely loved. It's a beautiful film. It's funny. It's heartwarming. It's touching. It's just a great little movie. Truly an underappreciated movie. And I think there's a Broadway show of it now. But anyway, and I remember watching Waitress, and I went, I love this actress. I love this actress. Now, a lot of people will know her today from a show called The Americans. I have to admit, I've never seen The Americans, despite the fact that I really like Keri Russell, and yet I've never seen The Americans. But still, I fell in love with Keri Russell there. I watched her in Mission Impossible, all that kind of stuff. I really like Keri Russell as an actress. So, hearing that for those of you who haven't heard, the news dropped today from Variety. Variety's reporting that Keri Russell is joining Star Wars Episode 9 in a role that they're simply saying is going to have a lot of key high action scenes. So, okay, go to town with that. She's obviously done a lot of physicality in her acting career. But you know me, I just get excited when high caliber talent is added. Keri Russell is high caliber talent. So if it actually is true and Variety's correct, I think it's great news. I think it's awesome news. Now, again, we don't know much about the character or anything like that, but hey, adding talent is never a bad thing, and Keri Russell is great talent. So I was really excited to hear that, James. Here's hoping it actually works out. Okay. But then again, Ant-Man and the Wasp added Walton Goggins. Great talent. And the character was meh. But then again, it probably would have come across even worse if it wasn't an actor like Walton Goggins playing it. It might have come off even worse. So it was good that Walton Goggins was there. And I think it's going to be good that Keri Russell's there too. All right. Let's see. Robert Perez writes, I saw The Purge last night. I still haven't seen it. I haven't been interested in seeing it because the last one really let me down. But anyway, saw The Purge last night. I have to say I didn't care for it. Oh, that's too bad. Plus, a group sitting next to me and my date wouldn't stop talking. Enjoy your weekend. I just don't get. Look, here's what I don't mind as a film fan. What I don't mind is people chatting with each other. Like, quite, because you're watching films, maybe you think a funny thing, and as long as, even if I can hear them, as long as the people I'm in the theater with at least appear to be making an effort not to be distracting, then I'm okay with it. You know, I've sat behind people before where, you know, one will lean over to the other and go, that actually doesn't bother me. You know, I don't know why, but there's somewhere in my head, there's an equation that, hey, if it looks to me like they're making an effort to be considerate, and they just want to share some with somebody beside them, but they're going to make an effort to be considerate, not to be too distracting, it's like there's a switch goes off in my head that goes, yeah, then I don't mind. Doesn't bother me. When people are like, oh my gosh, can you believe he did that? Like, also, what I also don't mind, and now we're getting into a big discussion on theater etiquette. What I myself don't mind is, like, sometimes somebody laughs really loud or has like a big boisterous laugh and it'll annoy Anne, like Anne will get annoyed by it. To me, it doesn't bother me at all. Like if you're watching a comedy when some guy's like, like you can hear him through the entire theater. If it's a comedy and he's laughing at funny stuff, to me, it adds to the atmosphere of a movie. It doesn't bother me. I know some people that bother some people. Like Anne, it kind of gets on her nerves a little bit. But I don't mind people who are reacting. Like, you know who's the biggest reactor in a movie theater? Ray. Graphic guy Ray, my brother-in-law, who's been with me ever since the AMC days all the way through. He is like, no, you do not go in there. Oh my gosh, what is she doing? Like he'll watch him. I'll watch a movie. I'll be in a theater with him, and like people all around us like just get a kick out of him because he's just, when Ray watches a movie, man, he just gets like right into the movie. It's like, no, don't do that, no. And that might annoy some people. I've found a lot of people are actually entertained by it. I get a kick, and it's not fake. It's totally just his natural response to watching a movie, right? and like something like crazy will happen. He goes, "Oh, okay, okay." Like, it's just great to watch. You know, I don't know if Ray's watching right now, but Ann and I have talked. I've got to get Ray on camera. I think Ray has always been nervous about getting on camera because he's nervous he'll say the wrong thing or say something wrong that'll get people mad at him. And I probably because he sees people get mad at me all the time. So I think he's nervous about that. But Ray is such a naturally charismatic and funny dude. I've always tried to come up with ways just to put him on, to get him on camera. And it's tough for me to get him on camera. It is. Anyway, too bad that you didn't like the movie. I have, like, again, I really liked the second Purge movie, so I went to go see the third one with some pretty decent expectations, and I was let down by it, so I haven't had any desire to see the new one, unfortunately. So you're the first person who's written to me to tell me that you saw it and what you thought about it, and it's too bad that you didn't like it, man. That sucks. Okay, History Soup writes, can anyone challenge Marvel's movie supremacy? Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely they can. Like, what I think a lot of people, they take current circumstances and think, this is the way it'll be forever. Nothing will change this. And I often go back to, man, I still remember when MySpace, and some of the younger viewers right now going, what's MySpace? I still remember MySpace was the first truly dominant social media platform. And it was like, well, when it was catching on, I was like, MySpace is going to be forever. Nothing will ever challenge the social media market space like MySpace. MySpace is forever. And then this little Facebook thing, well, Facebook, it's going to die because of MySpace. And where's MySpace today? Today, younger audiences are going, what's MySpace? That's what happened. And it feels like it changed like that. Like, seriously, one morning I woke up and MySpace was the eternally dominant social media platform. And the next morning I woke up and MySpace was dead. And, you know, MySpace is dead. Long live Facebook. And like today, I still hear people, well, nothing will ever replace Facebook. Yeah, something will. At some point, something will. A bunch of things have tried and failed, but don't think that means that this is permanent. It's not. And the same is true with, like, I think with Marvel. Look, Marvel's on an incredible streak, but all it takes is going to take like 2 bad films in a row. And look, honestly speaking, it is possible, however unlikely, that, what's the next one? Captain Marvel sucks, and Avengers 4 sucks. And if those 2 movies suck, like aren't just a little bit like suck, like people are like, damn, that sucked. You put out 2 in a row, you put out Captain Marvel and people come out, oh, wow, well, I guess we had to wait for some Marvel movie completely that we all think sucked. Oh, well, Avengers 4 is coming. And now Avengers 4 comes out and it sucks. And again, it's possible, however unlikely, let's say Aquaman, Shazam, Wonder Woman 2, all just crush it, knock it out of the park. Now, we're making up fairy tale examples here, granted, but I'm just saying, for the purposes of examples. I'm telling you what, if Captain Marvel and Avengers 4 back-to-back come out and suck, and DCEU puts out 3 killer films in a row that the audience, critics, and box office all love, just like I woke up one morning with MySpace the king, and then I woke up the next morning where Facebook was the king, the landscape, the perception of the landscape will change like that. Not overnight, but in the blink of an eye. In the blink of an eye, the dialogue, the online conversation, the online narrative could change like that. Now, what's the likelihood that Aquaman and Shazam and Wonder Woman are going to be 3 films in a row that all crush it and kill it, and all the audience and all the critics and all the box office love them completely? According to track record, not very high. 1 or 2 of them probably will, and maybe they all will. What's the likelihood that both Captain Marvel and Avengers 4 are just going to suck and the audiences and the critics and the box office hate them? Not very likely. But still, it's just an example. And mathematically speaking, at some point it will happen. At some point, the MCU will put out a couple of crappers in a row. At some point, Sony or Warner Brothers or whatever are going to crank out a couple in a row that are just killer. Or Fox puts out their next Logan, their next Deadpool, their next X-Men Days of Future Past, whatever in a row, and suddenly people are looking at Fox, whether it belongs to Comcast or Disney, are looking at Fox as they're the dominant. Like, things change. And I think audiences and people in our culture, we are guilty of navel gazing, thinking, oh, the way things are right now is the way it's always going to be. Things change. As inconceivable as it is right now, that there will be a movie landscape, a comic book movie landscape that's not dominated by Marvel, believe me, that day is coming. Whether it's coming soon or whether it's coming later, it's coming. It'll happen. It's just a matter of when. I think that's the big question. For now, it is the dominant force and it's doing a hell of a job. But, I mean, nothing lasts forever. History Soup follows it up. Says, I think it's impossible to capture now. Oh, you're wrong, History Soup. You are absolutely 100%. That's not a subjective thing. I'm telling you, you are wrong. You are the guy saying to me back in the 90s, nothing will ever catch my space. That's who you are right now. You're saying nothing will ever catch my space. And guess what? MySpace gets caught. No one will ever beat the Chicago Bulls. Guess what? They got beat. Eventually it happens. And they will be caught. If we're talking about in a window of 2 to 3 years, it's unlikely. But beyond that, it's going to happen at some point. It just will. Okay. Murray Reich writes, once all the major theater chains have subscription services, do you think Sinemia will be sustainable? See, the one thing, I've said this before, the big advantage, the only advantage that a third-party service like Sinemia has is the fact that you can use Sinemia at any theater chain. Now, there's still going to be a lot of people like me that lives really close to a big major theater, and I have no need to belong to any other movie club. I have a big giant AMC theater, a 10-minute walk up the street from me. Some of you have a big major AMC theater, a 15-minute drive from you, like whatever. So yeah, maybe Sinemia won't be like that for us. However, there'll be a lot of people who like, hey, I got a Regal Cinema that's like a 20-minute drive that way. I got an AMC that's like a 15-minute drive that way. I got a Cinemark that's like a 25-minute drive that way. Sometimes different friends want to go to different ones of those. I don't really have any one big one really close to me. For a lot of people like that, a Sinemia card becomes a really valid option. It becomes valid for somebody who doesn't go to, say, more than 3 movies a month, and most people don't go to 3 or more movies a month. Sinemia becomes still a very viable option. Because not everybody's like me that lives so close to a big major theater. A lot of people are, but a lot of people aren't. And I think there's still a business there to be had for a third-party service like Sinemia to exist for that audience. And yeah, I believe it is sustainable at that point. Because unlike MoviePass, that can't even begin to imagine being profitable unless they have 5 million subscribers, Sinemia is a more sustainable business plan, so they don't need 5 million subscribers. Because they're profitable. They don't operate in a deficit like, say, MoviePass does. Sinemia is actually profitable. So they don't need to have 4 million subscribers or 1 million subscribers, whatever. They can be profitable with however many subscribers they have. So yeah, I do believe that there will be an opportunity, even when Regal rolls out their movie membership and ArcLight rolls out their membership and Landmark rolls out their membership and everybody's got their own private membership things, I still think there is a place for Sinemia because there's going to be a lot of Americans or Canadians or wherever you live in the world that will be in a situation where, hey, I don't have any one particular theater that's really close to me. Having a third-party thing like Sinemia that works at all of them, I do believe there is an opportunity there for them to have a business. I do. Whether it will or won't, I'm not sure, but I believe the opportunity is there. All right. Robert Perez writes, any rules for fans that happen to see you in public? I don't know. It's really, I've never gotten used to it. Every time we go out, somebody will stop us, which is something I've been doing this for years now, and I have still never gotten used to it. I have never gotten used to it. And that's not a bad thing. I am completely in shock that anybody wants to talk to me. I'm completely honored and humbled, and it's a kick. It's a total hoot. I really do. I get a kick out of it. I really do. I'm not going to pretend like I don't. I do. I get a huge kick out of it. You guys, when you guys see me out in the streets or you see me at a convention or whatever, and you guys come up to say hi, you make me feel like a rock star. Like this schlumpy, stupid dude, you make me feel like a rock star. And it's amazing. And I can't believe how privileged you make me feel when you come up and say hi. It's awesome. And when I'm out with like my friend Kaori, or we're out with Anne or whatever, it's they get a big kick out of it when people come up and say hi and stuff like that. And it's amazing. And like Anne was even telling the story. Anne, for some of you may remember, Anne was actually in Hong Kong for a while. She went to Hong Kong for 2 months for work. And how I survived 2 months without Anne being here, I'm not sure. But this was just a number of months ago. So Anne's in Hong Kong for 2 months. And like her first day there, she's crossing the street in Hong Kong. And she goes, some dude yells to me, Ann Campea? And they just knew who Ann Campea was because they watch me and they've seen her on my stuff. And like, oh my God. So it's even in Hong Kong, right? The only rules I would say is, just be polite. Be polite. And understand I scare easy because I'm totally terrified that I'm going to offend you. I'm totally scared that, honestly, that I've talked about this before. My biggest fear, because you know how I start off all my shows? It sounds like it's just a part of a script. But when I go, hey guys, welcome to my show. It's an honor and a privilege to have you here. I'm not bullshitting you. To me, it is the most ridiculous honor, and it's a privilege that you guys take time out of your day, whether it's to watch one of the live shows or watch one of the pre-recorded video segments or whatever, that you take time out of your day to watch my stuff. I am floored by that. And when people come up to meet me and talk to me, I am filled with fear because I am so honored and I am so floored that you would want to come up and speak to me. I am so filled with fear that I will offend you, or that I don't make you feel like I'm overwhelmed with the sense of I've got to make sure you know how incredibly honored I am that you would come up and talk to me. And my biggest fear whenever somebody comes up to talk to me is that they will walk away not getting that I was really honored that you wanted to say hi to me. My biggest fear is somebody would walk away from meeting me and saying, oh, he didn't even care that I met him. Like I that will keep me up at night. And I swear to God, you can ask Ann, there have been times that we've been laying in bed and I'll be going, remember that dude who came up? I feel like, did I feel like I was cold to him? Did it feel like I wasn't like I didn't care that he said hi to me? Like I will stay awake at night stressing about that. Which is just like, I don't know. It's weird. So no, I love it when people come up and say hi. I really do. Just if it looks like I'm terrified, it's because I'm afraid that I don't communicate how honored I am that you would say hi. That's my biggest fear. It really is. But yeah, just be nice. Just be kind. If you see me with Ann, because often I'm with my wife when I'm out and about, and we're right in the middle of something, maybe wait a beat. Like if she and I are talking about something, just wait a beat till she and I are finished talking. But I mean, that's about it. Other than that, I'm super thrilled that you would say hi. Let's see. Guitar Dude 513 writes, Ben Affleck is doing a Comic-Con in September. Interesting. Interesting decision in regards to his Batman status. But he did cancel his last one, however. I don't know which Comic-Con you're talking about. He's certainly not going to Comic-Con. Although, now look, I told you guys this before. I'll just mention it again here. I was the first person online to let you guys know I had heard from very reliable sources very close to the situation that the relationship between Warner Brothers, Ben Affleck, was broken. He was done as Batman. They still have him under contract for one more film, 50-50 chance that he does one more film, but after that he is done. Every major outlet has confirmed that, and we've heard it from Ben Affleck himself has basically confirmed, I'm looking for a way to get out and blah, blah. It was all confirmed. I was right. However, I told you guys this about a month ago, I think. Warner Brothers and the DCEU, specifically the DCU, is under new leadership, under Hamada. I told you guys about a month ago that there may be a shift in relationships. And Hamada, there may have been some discussions. I am not saying that Ben Affleck, after the change of leadership of the DCU, and now that there's new players involved, that everything's fixed and Ben's right back into the DCU. I'm not saying that. But whereas I before would have told you from all of the information that we have, 50-50 chance Ben does one more movie because he is under contract still for one more movie. But I would have said it's a 0% chance that he does any more beyond that next film, which is the final on his contract. I'd say now it's a 25% chance. Because a lot changed. A lot of people just see, the Walter Hamada thing, but it was more than Walter Hamada. There has been a total organizational change in the DCEU. And new people in leadership may mean new attitudes and new goals and new outlooks and new possibilities. Again, I am not saying that Ben Affleck is even going to do that one last one on his contract. I've always said from day one it's 50-50. It still is 50-50. But what a kick in the pants it would be if Ben Affleck came on stage and they said he was going to do another one. Now, I still don't think it's likely, but wouldn't it be a kick in the pants? But then again, remember, everybody last year, remember Ben Affleck got on stage at Comic-Con, and I told everybody the night before the Warner Brothers presentation, and the Hollywood Reporter did the story that were confirming everything I had said, that Warner Brothers, they understand Ben Affleck is done, blah, blah, blah. And I said in a video, I did a video from my hotel at Comic-Con, and I said, okay, so this is happening. What's going to happen at the Warner Brothers panel tomorrow? And I said, they are going to deny it. They have to deny it. They're going to deny it to the teeth. They have to deny it. And what happened? Ben Affleck gets on stage. I'm so happy to be Batman. I'll play an ape for Matt Reeves. I'll get on the ground. I'll do whatever to be Matt Reeves. I'm Batman. Woo! I'm Batman forever. What happened? Fast forward a few months after that, he's doing press junkets for Justice League and like, are you going to be in a couple more Batman a few more times? I wouldn't say that. Where are you at right now with Batman? Well, I'm just, I'm looking for a cool way to segue out of being Batman. And we all know now that it's pretty much a lock now that Ben Affleck is not going to be Matt Reeves' Batman. So we went from, and I remember at that Comic-Con, man, after like I said the night before, they're going to deny it. They have to deny it. It's the right thing to do. You need to deny it. But believe me, they're going to deny it. And so Ben Affleck gets on stage. I'm Batman. I'll do anything to be for Matt Reeves' Batman. Yeah, I'm Batman. And all these people writing to me on Twitter and everything, haha, John, you were wrong. He's going to be Batman forever. And I'm like, if you believe that, if you believe the PR spin, there's nothing I can do. And now pretty much everybody knows now that he's not going to be in Matt Reeves' Batman, despite what he said on stage. We can't just buy the PR machine, man. But anyway, everybody knows. I'm just mad because everybody knows I want Ben Affleck as Batman. I want Ben Affleck as Batman. I want Ben Affleck directing Batman. Don't get me wrong, Matt Reeves is a great director, and I'm very happy he's directing Batman films, if he ever gets around to making it. But I'm just mad because I think Ben Affleck is the best Batman we've ever had. I think he should be Batman. I think he should be writing Batman. I think he should be directing Batman. I think Ben Affleck should run the frickin' DCEU. So I am not happy. But, yeah, I don't know. We'll see what happens. And we'll see if he shows up to this convention. It's a very interesting thing if he does. But he's not scheduled for Comic-Con. But then again, maybe they make some big splash announcements at Comic-Con. Let's wait and see. It's only 2 weeks away, guys. It's only 2 weeks away. All right. Jeff Jones writes, with Keri Russell now cast for Star Wars Episode 9, wouldn't it be cool if she was Mara Jade? Nah, she's not going to be Mara Jade. Shows up, people ask, who are you? And she says, Luke's wife. Now, where's my daughter? Meaning, well, no, that's some great fan fiction there, Jeff, but no, it's not true. She's not going to be Mara Jade. They've already pretty much confirmed that. They're not going the route of Mara Jade. Not to mention the age difference between Luke and Keri, between Mark Hamill and Keri Russell. Not that that makes it impossible. And remember, Rey's parents being nobody was JJ's idea. There's this false narrative going around that Rian Johnson pulled the rug out from JJ's plan about who Rey's parents were going to be. Daisy Ridley herself, on record, has said that, no, that's what JJ told her back when they were shooting Star Wars The Force Awakens, was that her parents were nobody. That was JJ's plan. There's this false story, this fake narrative going around that for some reason people believe that, oh, Rian Johnson pulled that fast one and changed JJ's plan. No, that was JJ's idea. And Daisy Ridley is on record and confirmed that no, what they did with Rey's parents is exactly what they told her back in The Force Awakens that they were going to do with her parents. So it was all JJ's idea. So, no, first of all, it would be dumb. It would be dumb. It would make no sense to make her Mara Jade. And don't get me wrong, I like the Mara Jade character in the expanded universe stuff. But remember, the expanded universe stuff is not canon. And it would be cool if they found a way, but from everything we all understand, they have no plans to bring in a Mara Jade. And they're not going to retcon their thing because making Rey some royalty's daughter is just stupid. I said that from day one. As soon as we saw The Force Awakens, I told everybody, she's not going to be anybody's daughter. At least she's not going to be Luke Skywalker's daughter, definitely. And she's not going to be an existing character's daughter, I do not believe. And they shouldn't. Because again, it would just shrink the universe more and more and more. So I don't think we're going to see that, Jeff, to be honest with you. But I am very happy that we are getting Keri Russell. It's going to be really, really cool to see what they do with her. Let's see. Der Wunderbar writes, have you seen Shallow Grave, John? Grave Flick? Yes, I have seen Shallow Grave. And it's kind of nasty. Hold on a second. Because I cannot remember the cast here. But it's a disturbing movie. It's a good movie, but it is a disturbing movie. Oh, that's right. Ewan McGregor. I totally forgot Ewan McGregor was in that. But so yeah, but I have not seen it since the first time I saw it. And that movie came out. Now, are you talking about the 1987 one? You might be talking about the 87 one. Where they witnessed the murder? Is that the one you're talking about? Oh, I'm not really sure which one you're talking about. Like, there's the 94 one with Hugh McGregor. There's the 87 one where the girls, like, witnessed the murder. There was, I'm not sure about this one. There was one with Michael Biehn called In a Shallow Grave. There was that one, too, which came out, like, at 88 or 89 or something like that. I can't remember which one it was. But I'm not quite sure which one you're talking about. I've seen both that 87 one and the 94 one. I've both only seen either of those once. So, I mean, that's about as much commentary I can get because I'm not even sure which one we're talking about. But I will say this. Whichever one you're talking about, I didn't think either one of them was great. I didn't think either one of them... That's just me personally, but that's the subjectivity of film, right? Murray Reich writes, have you tried the Galaxy Theaters yet? No, I haven't. I haven't had an opportunity, really, to try the Galaxy Theaters yet. So I'll give one a shot one of these days. But again, I don't have one anywhere really close to me. So, and again, I have got an AMC Theater a 10-minute walk up the street from me. So it's going to be kind of like pulling teeth to get me to go to something else. Trevor Johnson writes, I just watched Ghost Dog with Forrest Whitaker. I enjoyed it. It's an interesting melding of cultures. I'd recommend it. You know what? I am not familiar. This happens. I'm not familiar with which one that is. Let's see. Which one is it? Oh, you're talking about Ghost Dog Way of the Samurai? The one he did with Dennis Liu, right? Oh, gosh. I have seen that. But it was like in the 90s, and I cannot remember a thing about it. I'm pretty sure I saw it. You know what? I can't even say with 100% certainty that I did see it. I'm looking at the poster of it right now. I'm like, I saw that movie. But I'm trying to remember anything about it, and I can't. So maybe I didn't. Maybe I was just aware of the film and I didn't see it. Anyway, so I haven't seen it, but thank you, Trevor, for putting that on the recommendation list so people can be aware of it. Who else was in that one with there? I don't recognize any of the other names in it, other than Dennis Liu, but I mean, that's about it. Anyway, check it out. Trevor is recommending everybody Ghost Dog. Full name of the movie, Ghost Dog, The Way of the Samurai. Check it out if you get a chance. All right, Dakota Barber writes, Paddington 2 is such a lovely film. Hands down, one of the best films of the year so far. Still today, Paddington 2 is still... You know, when we did our mid-year movie awards, the Filthies, there were some people that were surprised that Paddington 2, you got nominated for Best Picture. You damn right I got Paddington 2 nominated for Best Picture, and I stand by that. It is a practically flawless film. It is the type of movie that makes you glad you're a movie fan. And for anybody who goes, oh, they think about a talking teddy bear, it's fan-frickin-tastic. It's a fantastic movie. So if you have not seen either Paddington or Paddington 2, you got to see it. Look, I'll stand with... Somebody asked me once, hey, John, if they make a Paddington 3 and it's as good as Paddington 1 and 2, is it in the conversation for best trilogies of all time? And I'm going to tell you right now, yes, it is. It's not Star Wars trilogy good. It's not Lord of the Rings good. It's not Godfather good. But it's in a conversation to be in the top 5 or top 6 best trilogies ever if they make a Paddington 3 and it ends up being as good as 1 and 2. Because 1 and 2 are freaking just brilliant movies. They're so good. You come out of the theater happy. You feel like your soul has been fed watching Paddington and Paddington 2. And you laugh and you grin and you feel great and wonderful. Paddington 2 is practically a flawless film. I mean, seriously, just if you haven't watched it, man, it's hard to put into words. And you're right, it's a movie about a little bear, for heaven's sakes. But it's so freaking good. They're both so freaking amazing. I remember when John Schnepp and I saw the first one, like neither of us had big expectations. It is Paddington, we're going to watch it. I remember both of us being, hot damn, that movie's awesome. Like just being like, holy crap, the movie's so good. If you haven't watched those two movies, man, do yourself a favor and watch Paddington 1 and 2. I said I was only going to go a half hour, guys. We've already gone an hour. I'm going to keep rolling here. Centaur24 writes, hey, John, Stefan from Germany. Hello, Stefan from Germany. Thank you for your passion. You are pure awesomeness. Well, thank you so much, Stefan. I appreciate that. Oscar night with you and Anne was the best I'd ever had. Stay strong and healthy. Greetings. Your lady is awesome. Well, thank you so much. For those of you who don't know what he's talking about, we live streamed us watching the Oscars. So much fun. It was so much fun. It was great. We just popped on the Oscars and had us live streaming watching the Oscars and talking to you guys as we were doing the Oscars. It was a hell of a lot of fun. We had a really good time. So thank you for remembering that, Stefan, and thank you for your comments, and thank you for supporting the channel. I really appreciate that, man. And sorry about the World Cup, but trust me, but at least Germany was in it. Italy didn't even freaking qualify. So at least your team was in it. Mine didn't even get in, man. All right. Callus Menon writes, hey, John, I just got sick and I'm about to finish recovering. Well, good, man. I hope you feel better soon. Your show has been helping me feel better slowly. Has there ever been a movie that was just as good as the trailer for it? Oh, yeah. Actually, look, there's lots of movies. Like, quite often we'll talk about, holy crap, the trailers to that movie sucked and it was awesome. Like, we often see bad trailers to good movies. And certainly lots of trailers live up, and lots of movies live up to their trailers. Absolutely, it happens all the time. It's not all that rare. I mean, we can all think of situations where the trailers were much better than the movies. Sure, we can remember those and think of those too, absolutely. But it's really not all that rare, I don't think, for a trailer to a movie, for a movie to live up to its trailer. I think, for instance, Ant-Man and the Wasp is better than its trailers. I did not love the marketing campaign for Ant-Man and the Wasp. I'll be straight up with you. So I was a little nervous going in to see it. And then I went to go in to see it and loved it. So there's just one of the most recent movies there. Ant-Man and the Wasp. Better than the trailers came out. I thought Infinity War lived up to the trailers of Infinity War. What are some other... Let me pull up some movies here. Let's see. What are some other movies that have come out just recently? Oh, hold a second. There we go. Okay, so I thought Black Panther lived up to the trailers. Thought Infinity War lived up to the trailers. I think Incredibles 2 was better than the trailers. I thought Deadpool 2 lived up to the trailers. I thought A Quiet Place way better than the trailers. I thought Ready Player One was better than the trailers. I thought Ocean's 8 was better than the trailers. So there's just a few of them just from this year. So yeah, absolutely. I do think we've seen, Kals, we've seen a bunch of examples where movies do live up to the trailers and sometimes exceed them. I think it happens quite a bit. It also happens a lot the other way around, where the movies don't live up to the trailers for sure. But I do believe it happens a lot where we are rewarded for our enthusiasm. Ben Kenobi writes, you know what, guys? I cannot take it anymore. I gotta turn the AC on. I'm sorry. I've been trying to keep it off as long as I can, but you can see my face is starting to shine from the sweat and everything. So I'm gonna get that AC flowing here, baby. Blow, baby, blow. That could be taken the wrong way. I shouldn't have said it like that. Oh, sorry. Let me get the... there we go. Okay. AC's on. I'm going to start to feel better here in a minute. Sorry about the noise, guys, but I'm going to melt. Like I said, it's 113 degrees outside. So, anyway. AMC, Ben Kenobi writes, AMC ruined me. I can't sit in a regular theater seat anymore. Went to ArcLight seats. Were hard compared to recliners. You know what? I got to say... I actually still quite like the... I agree with you. I remember the first time I went to an AMC Prime with the big plush leather recliners and everything. I'm like, this ruined me. I can't sit in a regular theater anymore. But you know what? ArcLight theaters, I actually find their seats rather comfortable. I do. They are a bit more stiff, but there's something comfy about that. And I like that. They're certainly don't compare to AMC's leather recliners, not by any stretch of the imagination, but I still find them to be quite good. But no, I agree with you now, man. Whenever I go into a theater now, and I sit in a seat that's not an AMC leather recliner, I'm like, meh. And then I just get into the movie, it's fine. But you're right, man. Those seats have spoiled me. And now a lot of AMC theaters, like, for instance, I've got the AMC Burbank 16. It's like the second busiest movie theater in America. 10-minute walk from where I live. But just one block over from it are two other AMC theaters, the AMC 6 and the AMC 8. And they both used to be just garbage, like shady places. But now they've replaced all the seats in all of their theaters with leather recliners. Now I love going to a movie at the AMC 6 or the AMC 8, as well as the AMC 16. Because it's just, I get the big leather recliner, sit back, and you're right, man, those seats have totally spoiled me. Completely spoiled me. And I know a lot of other movie theater chains are also now implementing leather recliners. And it's like, once you go to a theater on any kind of a regular basis that is a full, plush, comfy leather recliner, it is tough going back to a movie theater that doesn't have it. It is tough. We get spoiled by it. Okay, Murray Reich writes, the audio went off for 2 minutes when I saw Ant-Man last night. AMC gave us free passes once we accidentally... See, we've been talking about that. Bad things happen. Accidents happen. You're a movie theater chain. There's a lot of technical stuff going on. It's expected something's going to go wrong sometimes. That is one of the reasons why I like AMC. Despite their completely incompetent pack of baboons, human resources department, y'all can burn in hell. Anyway, besides those incompetent morons that work at AMC and the thing they call their HR department, human shit brains. Anyway, do I still sound a little better? Total pack of incompetent idiots that work in the AMC human resources department. It's just my opinion. I'm just stating my opinion based on my experiences. Bunch of incompetent, moronic jackals over there. Anyway, so aside from that, I still have a very fond place in my heart for AMC theaters. But one of the reasons is not just because I used to work for them, but because I really do find that they epitomize excellence in running their movie theaters. And an example like yours, I've been in a theater when something goes wrong for a minute, and look, it goes out for 2 minutes. Another theater could have understandably said, hey, we're like, sorry about that, like the 2 minutes, but it was just 2 minutes. The fact that AMC was probably, and this has happened to me, something went wrong for a minute or two in a movie, and the manager and staff are waiting at the door as we're walking out, handing us free passes to come back to another movie sometime. Bad things happen. Things go wrong. I really appreciate it when any company, whether it's a movie company, whether it's an ice cream company, whether it's whatever your company is, as consumers should understand, things go wrong. The question is, what does the company, regardless of the industry, do to try to make up for it? And I've always found that AMC does a pretty good job of trying to make up for it. And that's one of the reasons, besides the fact that I used to work for them, One of the reasons why I've always appreciated them as a movie theater chain, and why I'm a very happy, satisfied AMC movie-going customer, even if their HR department is populated with a bunch of knuckle-dragging idiots. But besides that, there you go. Okay, moving on. Kalis Menon writes, also, why should I get the AMC MoviePass? Well, I mean, look, here's why you shouldn't. Let me tell you why you shouldn't get an AMC A-List, okay? Number one, you don't live reasonably close to an AMC theater. If you've got to drive a half hour or more to get to the closest AMC theater, and you have other movie theaters that are within like a 10-minute drive, then you shouldn't get an AMC A-List pass. Another reason, you quite often don't go to more than one movie a month anyway. And that's the vast majority of moviegoers. The vast majority of moviegoers don't usually go to more than one movie a month. Now, people like me and people like you who watch shows like mine, we probably do. But there's a lot of people out there who don't go to more than like one movie a month. If you're one of those people, AMC A-List is not for you. I mean, you're the exactly type of person that AMC would love to sign up for A-List, but honestly, it's not worth it. Pay your $15 for your one movie ticket and you're good. So don't get an AMC A-List if you live like 30 minutes, more than a 30-minute drive from an AMC theater, if you don't have one close to you, if it's not convenient. Secondly, don't get one if you don't regularly go to more than one movie a month. Then it's not worth it. You're going to be more cost effective if you just go to pay to see the one movie. And honestly, that's it. Those are the only two reasons I can possibly imagine not getting an AMC A-List card. Every other reason there exists. You get to see 12 movies a month in all the best theaters without any surcharges. You can book your tickets online in advance, book your seats, book your specific seats. You get discounts at the concession stand, on and on and on and on. Other than you don't go to more than one movie a month and you live too far away from an AMC theater, other than those two reasons, there is no reason not to get an AMC MoviePass, or A-List as it's called. I'm not a fan of the name AMC A-List. I gotta admit, I'm not a fan of the name. That's the only thing I don't like. But other than those two reasons, there's no reason not to get one. If you go to 2 more movies a month and you're within a reasonable distance of an AMC theater, I think if you're a film fan, you absolutely should have this pass. And maybe you live close to a Regal. Pretty soon, I'm sure Regal's going to roll out their subscription service as well. I mean, you really should have one. I would recommend it at any rate. Let's see. Scott Vosper writes, AMC sub. Can I get 2 tickets for one movie? Nope. You can only get one. Your AMC subscription is for you. Now, you can buy, like when I'm on my app, I can buy 2 tickets. One will be for free because I'm a member, and I can pay for the second one. So I can get 2 tickets. I can get 20 tickets. I just get mine for free. You do not get to use 2 of your free pass because somebody who's not you does not get to use the A-List ticket. Your A-List is for you. That's one of the ways that AMC makes sure that their plan is sustainable. That's one of the reasons why, like, when you see companies like MoviePass that are about to go out of business because their business plan was never sustainable, AMC has found a way to give us a great deal while making sure it stays financially viable for them to do it. One of the ways they keep it viable is that your A-List tickets are for you. You don't get to get 2 tickets for the same movie that you can give to somebody else. No. They got to have their own thing. If you want to buy somebody else's ticket, you can, but you're paying regular price for that ticket. Which is already a good deal, because if you got to buy a ticket for your date, well, instead of paying $30 for your 2 tickets, now you're just spending $15. It's still a good deal. But no, you cannot use A-List to buy 2 tickets to the same. I mean, let me rephrase. What you cannot do is buy 2 tickets to the same movie at the same showing. Unlike MoviePass, you can only see a movie once. You can use your AMC A-List to see Ant-Man and the Wasp 10 times if you want. You just can't get 2 tickets to Ant-Man and the Wasp at the same screening. See what I'm saying? So you can go back and watch Infinity War 8 times. You can go back and watch Ant-Man and the Wasp 4 times. You can watch the same movie over and over again if you want, but you cannot get 2 tickets to the same screening because your A-List membership is just for you. So that's important to understand. Devontae Brown writes, where's the first Purge review? I'll be honest with you, I'm not interested in seeing the first Purge. So I didn't even go to see it. I didn't bother. With this being holiday week and being as busy as I've been and all this kind of stuff, I just, the last Purge movie came out and it really let me down, and I've had no enthusiasm for this new one, and I didn't think the trailers looked any good at all, and I just decided not to use any of my evenings to go see it. So no review for the first Purge. Like you heard, one of our other viewers here saw it and they didn't like it. But I just decided to treat myself by not going to see first Purge. So I don't know, maybe I would think the movie's good, but I just decided that, you know what? I have other things I can be doing that's more valuable with my time than going to see the first Purge. So I decided not to see it, to be honest with you. Let's see, where are we now? Oh gosh. Okay, guys, do me a favor. If you have not sent in a question yet, do not send in any more. I said I was only going to do today's show for a half hour because it was Friday, and we've already gone an hour and 15 minutes, and I'm going to finish all the questions that we have here. I'm going to finish them all. Just do me a favor. Do not send in any more. So let me get through these last ones here. We're going to finish it off. All right. Let's see. At Trey Gaming writes, just saw Won't You Be My Neighbor way more emotional than I thought it would be. Right? It's like, boom, smacks you in the face. I was not prepared for how awesome that movie would be and how emotional and how moved I would be. Now, I've been talking about Won't You Be My Neighbor all week. And of course, one of my little Won't You Be My Neighbor review. You know what's funny? I was late getting my Won't You Be My Neighbor review up because I saw it and I thought, well, no one's going to see this movie. I loved it. I was so moved by it, and I just loved it. But I thought, no one's going to really go see this little documentary anyway. So there's no point in doing a review because no one's going to watch it. So I didn't do a review. Then I went to go see it again the first day I got my A-List, my AMC, and I decided to go see 2 movies on the same night, which is something else you can't do with MoviePass. But anyway, so I went to go see Sicario, Day of the Soldado, and Won't You Be My Neighbor on the same night. And I came out of watching Won't You Be My Neighbor again and going, damn it, I've got to talk about this movie. I don't care if nobody watches it. No one's going to watch this review, but I just got to talk about it. So I did my review for it. And that review, I mean, the last time I checked, I think it was over, I expected it to get about 700 or 800 views. To be honest with you, I really did. I thought it would get 700 or 800 reviews. It's got about 30,000 views right now. And I honestly thought, full up, I honestly thought it would get about 700 or 800 views. And it's sitting at about 30,000 views. I think the message of Won't You Be My Neighbor is getting out there. And you're absolutely right, Atreyu. It is the emotionalism of it. The natural, organic, it's not forced and it's not contrived emotionalism. It's natural, organic emotionalism in it. It just really hooks you and draws you in. And by the time the movie ends, you realize you're almost tired, like you're exhausted because you didn't realize how much emotion you were feeling. Guys, watch Won't You Be My Neighbor. Seriously, it'll change you. Thanks for bringing that up, Atreyu. All right, next up, Centaur24 writes, as a Warcraft fan since 1996 and World of Warcraft player since day one in the EU without any break, I warmly welcome you back to Azeroth. For the Alliance, sent you an email last Saturday about upcoming changes in Warcraft. Yeah, there are a bunch of changes coming because there's a brand new, what's the word for it? A new version. It's all still Warcraft. But a new expansion is coming. And whenever they put out expansions, they fiddle some things and change some things. It is weird playing for the Alliance, because like back in the day when I played Warcraft incessantly, I was an undead mage named Darth Rampage. And I just played the hell out of that character. And I was always Horde. So this time around, I decided to play an Alliance character. I played a mage again to still keep it a little bit similar and to keep it familiar to me. But I played Alliance, and it's a different game when you're playing Alliance. It really is. It's a different game. But for those of you who don't know, I have been doing some live streaming. I stream myself playing Warcraft. I call it play and chat. So all it is me sitting here playing Warcraft and having some fun playing Warcraft, and then taking questions like this, just taking questions, as I'm turning in quests or in between adventures, I'll take some questions and just talk. So it's play and chat. I never would have done it, but when I told people that I was going to be playing Warcraft again, I had a bunch of you guys write to me saying, John, live stream playing Warcraft. I'm like, really? You want to watch me play Warcraft? Okay, so I tried it, and a bunch of people participated, and everybody was chatting, and it was a lot of fun. So not a whole hell of a lot of people watch the play and chats, like maybe 100 or 200 people will watch live, and like 1,000 or 2,000 people will watch the video of it afterwards. But it's all pretty happy, passionate group of people that love watching Warcraft and talking as we're playing Warcraft. So keep your eyes open for that. I do those every once in a while. I can't do it tonight. I won't be live streaming in Warcraft tonight because tonight it's real life. We've got our Dungeons and Dragons group coming over to play tonight. We started a new Dungeons and Dragons group last week, and we've got our second session tonight. So tonight is Dungeons and Dragons night. We're playing D&D tonight. But thank you, Centaur24. I appreciate that, man. Run Amok Design writes, in Captain Marvel, it would be awesome to see young Fury and Coulson in a brief scene with Peggy Carter, Hank Pym, and Howard Stark before his death. Yeah, if it serves the narrative. I mean, don't shoehorn in fan service stuff just for the sake of it. That's how you make bad movies, right? If it serves the narrative and they've got an important narrative thing to do as a part of that, then yeah, by all means do it. It could be very cool if it's done right. See, that's the big thing, right? Run Amok Design, it's if it's done right. But yeah, I mean, if they did that, I would have a little geek spasm. Because I really like the Peggy Carter character, to be honest with you. But having Hank Pym in there, Howard Stark too, I mean, yeah. Yeah, I mean, that could be pretty fun. As long as it's not just shoehorned fan service. That's when it starts to feel lame and forced. But if you can find an organic way that serves the narrative to do it, dude, I'm all for it. That could be really fun. Okay, Devontae Brown writes, what did you think of that other actor who portrayed Smith in Matrix 2 and 3 besides Hugo Weaving? It's the character Bane who had his mind taken over. I'll be honest with you, Devontae, I can't even remember. It's been so long since I watched Matrix 2 or 3. I can't even remember. I know the one you're talking about in the real world, right? Like back on the Nebuchadnezzar, back on the ship, and the dude takes over the guy. That, right? Is that what we're talking about? If so, I'm surprised I'm even remembering that. I cannot remember, to be honest with you. It's a good question, but I can't remember it. Guys in the chat board, if you guys remember, and you guys remember what Devontae's talking about, discuss amongst yourselves in the live chat board what you think about that. Because me, I'm just drawing a bit of a blank right now, to be honest with you. I can't remember. So by all means, guys, discuss it in the character there. We got already in there. Rose Ryan saying Bane was creepy. So yeah, everybody drop that in there. Talk about it. Let's see. ZOMG Ruler writes, what may be the next $2 billion film? Oh, anything could be. Anything. Avengers 4 could be. It may not. Episode 9 could be. It may not. Yeah, but the next one up that has a shot at $2 billion is clear. I mean, look. Captain Marvel's not going to be a $2 billion film. Aquaman is clearly not going to be a $2 billion film. The next film up that has a shot at being a $2 billion film is Avengers 4. So that's coming out next summer. And I have my doubts it'll get to $2 billion. We'll have to see. But it definitely has a shot, and that's the next one up that's got a shot at it. Angel Feliciano writes, just sends in a super chat. Thank you so much, Angel. I appreciate that. Thank you. Last two questions now. Maurice Cook writes, John, I think Leia will hold a lightsaber in Star Wars Episode 9. Well, there's a few things that need to happen for that to happen. Number one, and most importantly, and probably more important than anything else, is they have to recast Leia. And you guys know what I think. To me, it is an insult to the memory of Carrie Fisher to not recast the character. It is a complete spit in the face to the legacy of the Leia character and a legacy of Carrie Fisher and what she brought to Star Wars by not recasting the character. It is a total disrespect to the legacy of Carrie Fisher if you do not recast this. You have to recast it. You do not throw this iconic, legendary character out like garbage just because Carrie Fisher isn't here to defend the character and to carry the character across the finish line. You honor Carrie Fisher by bringing the character across the finish line for her now that she can't do it. Carrie Fisher needs to be able to trust in us, the fans, and in Lucasfilm that they're going to carry on this character that she spent a lifetime bringing to us, carry that character's true story to its conclusion. Don't write Leia off in between movies saying, Episode 9, by the way, everybody, Princess Leia's dead, wah, wah. We know she's been a key integral part of this entire story, but she died off screen. Wah, wah. Stupid. Stupid. You got to recast. But I don't think they will recast her, unfortunately. I don't think they will. I think they're going to throw the Princess Leia character out the window like garbage, which they shouldn't do, but I think that's what they're going to do. And not bring the character to its true narrative conclusion. We all know that prior to Carrie Fisher's death, they said, oh, Episode 9 was going to be kind of Leia heavy. They had a big plans for Leia. Narratively, they have their story for Leia, and now they're going to throw it away. And they're going to throw the character out the window like garbage. And not bring the character to its true narrative conclusion. This character we've been watching and grew up with for 40 years, throw it out like garbage. It's disgusting to me. But I think it's what they're going to do. I don't think they're going to recast. So, since I do not think they're going to recast, nope, I don't think we're going to see Leia holding the lightsaber because they're going to say Leia died off screen. They're going to throw the character out the window like garbage, which really sucks. But anyway, I get emotional just thinking about it. All right, last question of the day comes to us from Benjamin Baldwin, who writes, I just watched Rosemary's Baby for the first time. Dude, I actually get a big kick. I get a big kick out of hearing from people who watch like a classic movie for the first time ever. I wish you had written in what you thought about it. I'd like to know your reaction to it. I love it when I talk to friends of mine. It's like, dude, I've never seen The Godfather. Watched The Godfather the other day. Holy crap, how have I not watched that before? Like, I love hearing people's reactions to classic movies that they had never seen before and they just watched. I really get a kick out of it. Do me a favor, Benjamin. Just drop me an email to john@thejohncampeashow.com. Just email me, john@thejohncampeashow.com, and let me know what you thought about Rosemary's Baby. I'd be really curious to hear what your reaction is. All right, guys, I said I was going to do today's show for about a half hour. We've gone almost an hour and a half. We are now at 1 hour and 24 minutes. Thank you so much for being here and joining me, guys. I hope you all had a great week, and thanks for being here and being part of the show and having some movie discussions, friends talking about things that we love. And guys, I hope you have a terrific weekend. Now, some people have been asking me, hey, where's the next companion video? Next companion video is done. It's recorded. I'm going to put it up tomorrow morning because I had no other videos to put up on Saturday. So the companion video is going to go up on tomorrow morning. It's all done and shot and everything like that. So keep your eye out for that. Sunday, guys, our Ant-Man and the Wasp open spoiler discussion is on Sunday at 2 p.m. Make sure you come, well, only if you've watched the movie, but then make sure you come back and watch it. We're going to have a big open discussion about Ant-Man and the Wasp. Looking forward to it. Of course, my review for Ant-Man and the Wasp is up on my YouTube channel right now. Check that out. It's on the front page. And yeah, that'll do it for me for now, guys. Thanks for being here. My name's John Campea, and until our next video, bye-bye.